Hey everybody, it's time for another Tony's Tidbits, and today we're going to replace my aging NAS device, which has been over maybe 15 years. I have the RNDP 6000E, or they call it the ReadyNAS Pro Business Edition, I guess, or Pioneer Edition, I don't know what you want to call it. Before, this used to be a company called Infront, but Netgear bought them and made their own devices, and this is a ReadyNAS or a Netgear branded NAS. Now, I've had this for, like I said, for over, I want to say 12, maybe 15, almost near 15 years. So I want to show you, it is a 6-bay model. I have all the drives removed. This is what the drive tray looks like. This is where you put it in the hard drive. It's served its purpose. There was a point in time where the firmware would not update. So I was stuck in 4.2XX. How do I get this in here? Let's see. 4.2. There it is. Trying to like show you how to put that in while I'm talking. So 4.2XX, which actually was a really old firmware version, and then they had an update to, or an unsupported update to 6.10.XX. Now in the forums there's various flashes that you can do to upgrade this device, and basically what I did was I did flash it. So I made a backup. Of course, I'm using the 3-2-1 strategy for backups, so I did have an on-site backup and also one that's off-site for my critical data. And then so for this particular device, I did the backup. I bought 2 additional 14 terabyte Western Digital Red NAS drives, and what I really wanted to do was I did an in-place upgrade of this guy. Each of these bays were 2 terabytes each, so 6 times 2 terabytes, running on the what they call X-RAID 1, basically RAID 5. And I did the in-place upgrade and it worked. So it worked pretty well for what it was, for maybe about a week or two, and then I started to receive disconnects from the network, and I'm not sure what had happened. Now I had loaded, various pictures on it and some additional files, and all of a sudden in its 4th week, actually I remember very clearly, it was July 4th, unfortunately, the unit just stopped. It went off the network and it stopped to serve any files. And I tried to reboot, I tried to remove the drives and replace them. I tried to put in a spare drive that I had just to see if I can get it to boot, and it would not get past the ReadyNAS screen no matter what I did. Now there's talk of power supply issues or stuff like that. I really didn't want to mess around necessarily with all of that because I really wanted to have confidence in this device, and it served me well, but I no longer really had confidence in it. It was unsupported. So I went ahead and went with the Synology 1821 Plus. Now this is an 8-bay device, so I'm upgrading from a 6-bay to an 8-bay device. Has an AMD Ryzen chip and has just a better BTRFS file system, and it just is updated. It's new, and it's supported by Synology, and it has capability for the drives that are greater than 8 terabytes. I think the max was 8. When I upgraded this particular device to the version 6 OS, I did place the 14 terabyte drives in, and it did expand as expected. So that was great, and I was very happy. I thought I had saved myself some money, to be honest, and I thought we could even have another good 5 to 8 more years with this device. It's built very solidly. It's very compact. I mean, for what it is, I really loved having this particular unit. But it's just you know, not everything lasts forever. So when it failed, I was, you know, this has been 3 weeks. I kept my backup in place, which is a snapshot at a point in time. And I had loaded some files that I really wanted to keep. And unfortunately, I had not backed it up. Luckily, I had my mirroring software to the cloud running. So I was able to take a differential and from what the snapshot was to the time that it stopped working. So I do have the full backup that I had, the snapshot, and then I have the differential that was online, and I was able to download that. In fact, I not only downloaded a differential, I downloaded a full backup just in case I wanted to get all my files again. And I'm using Crash Plan Pro for that. I'm looking at maybe going to iDrive, but maybe that's another video. So what I'll do here is this guy is gone. I've taken all the drives out. I'm going to unbox the Synology. And unfortunately, Amazon, I ordered this right after Prime Day. So it looks like all of the drivers and all the deliveries are delayed a little bit. I actually have bought a memory module to upgrade it from a 4 gig RAM to 32 gigs of RAM, two 16 gigabyte memory modules. So I'll be placing that afterwards. Probably a segment of this video at the end will be the memory installation. But I'll unbox the Synology NAS. I'll put in the 2 terabyte hard drives. Now, I just want to let you know, I had 6 2 terabyte hard drives. I've already used one. So I'll be putting 5 2 terabyte hard drives in, and then I'll be letting everything go, set up the whole device. I'll put in the 2 14 terabyte drives in, and I'll have one bay open, so I'll put another 14 terabyte drive in whenever I get the money to buy one. So I'll have 7 drives in the system. That should give me around, I think Synology said it would be about 28 terabytes of free usable space. And I'll use that until I get a good deal on the Western Digital Red 14 terabyte drives, and then I'll just pop it in and expand the volume. So right now we'll go to unboxing, and I'll get to the installation of the hard drives. Two network cables. Here are the keys. Here are the power cord. Quick install guide. Lower the intensity here. Push the drive out, snap it out, snap the drive in, put the drive back in, boot it up, put it to your router. Very easy. memory panel right here. This is where I would unscrew these two to install the memory. The drive bays are here. You push it in, and the bay comes out. Pretty easy. They slide quite easily in and out, very smoothly. This is much more compact than I expected, actually. So really nice, really nicely done. You can see the back here. Ooh, nice, sleek, black case. I love it. So here's the old one, the NAS, the Netgear ReadyNAS. We'll just sling this over to the side now and show you the new chassis, which is the Synology 8-bay beauty, very black case, two nice 120mm fan, and the bottom has that memory port or that memory cover, so that's what I'll be opening to access the memory expansion slots. I'm not going to go over necessarily the specs. You can find those online. What I'll do is install these hard drives, and then I'll boot it up, and then maybe do a screen share of setting up the Synology NAS. My initial thought is, when I compare these two together, I'll just see if I can pick them both up for some. Hopefully I don't drop them. Here we go. Here's it. So they're not that much difference in space, right? I mean, here they are. I mean, of course, this supports 2 additional drives, and these are vertically. The ReadyNAS is 3 by 1, 2, 3, 3 by 2, you know, and here it's just horizontally 8 drives. I'll tell you one thing is the Synology is much lighter than the ReadyNAS. Now, I don't know if that's good or bad, but definitely going to be easy to carry this around as is. And then as we install the drives, I'm sure they'll get heavier as we put additional drives in. So I'll just go through, maybe fast forward a little bit on the installation of the drives, and then we'll get to the setup. One thing I forgot to mention is that since this is an 8-bay device, what I typically like to do is I'll take one of the carriages here, and these are super light. Like the one that I had in the Netgear was made out of metal, seemed very sturdy. I mean, that was probably the times. This is sort of molded plastic, probably is very light. And what I typically like to do is find a place to put the actual number. You might not be able to see that, but it has a number 1 on, and I'll probably place it right here on the side as such, so that I know which actual bay this belongs in. So if you accidentally pull out all the drives, you want to make sure that those drives are in this particular drive that you put in here is positioned in the same exact spot, because if it's not in the same spot, you're in for a herd of trouble. You could have some data loss. So I typically like to label them, know where they are in its location, and that way it helps me if I'm pulling out drives or trying to move to another NAS, another Synology NAS. You're going to be able to do that and know which position it belongs in. Here I am. This is not a brand new 2 terabyte. This is one that I've actually taken out of the NAS, or the former NAS, and I wrapped it up already. I thought I wasn't going to be able to use this, but it appears that I am. So I'm going to be taking this one. This is an old ERFX 2.0 2 terabyte NAS. A lot of people are saying, oh, you have the SHR or SHMR, and no, these are the CMR drives. These are really old. So I'm going to take out the first bay, very light, and basically all you do is you pull this off. I'm going to be careful here, but there you go. So you got this little rail that comes off. Same thing on this side. Take that off there, and I think it goes label up on this side, fits in really snug, and the holes line up to where this should be. Just gonna make sure I got it right. Yep, this looks good. And then I'm going to pop this back in. Easy enough as it is. One rail in. Second rail in. Pretty sturdy in there. Yeah, it'll work. See if it fits. Should fit pretty snugly. Yep. There you go. Now if you didn't see that, let me redo that, and I'll reposition the camera, and you can see where it kind of catches that port. So I'm going to position this down so you can see it. There's the Synology. You got your 8 bays. Here's the first bay on this side here. You got your just assembled in the tray, and then we're going to put this in like this, and we're going to push on the top. Yep, see it catch, and then boom, there you go. The first drive is in. Guess got to do this 5 more times. We'll set it up. We'll install the 14 terabyte drives and expand the volume, and then this one will be for the last third 14 terabyte drive. And then as we move along and need more space, I can start plugging in 20 terabyte drives or whatever it may be. 100 terabytes hopefully at some point. If we can get there. All right, so I'll load the other drives and then we'll start the setup. Here is the 5 drives installed in the Synology. Pretty sleek. Actually fits a little bit better than the ReadyNAS. I had to sort of put it in a diagonal. This one fits horizontally, and yeah, it's pretty nice. I keep this in the closet and just let it run, so I have a spot for it. So also next to my router and my switch, so that's where it is. So let's go set it up. Here is the Synology. It was probably really poor lighting, so I wanted to put on the spotlight. You can see the 8 bays there. It's really silent. I'm gonna pause here so you can see. I do have an NVR that's sitting right next to it. You may be hearing that, but otherwise this thing is silent. Really nice. Pretty impressed with it. Let's start setting this guy up. Hey everybody, so what we're going to do here is go into the find utility that allows you to find the Synology NAS. So what I've done so far is actually I've went ahead and reserved the IP and on my network, and luckily it was .8. So I'm 192.168.68.8, which I thought was really cool because it's an 8-bay NAS. So I got, so .8 is it. So if I go to find.synology.com, it's routing to finds with an S, finds.synology.com, and here it is. It says find your Synology NAS server name. It gave it the IP address of .86.52. Now I've already reserved it, but I have not rebooted the system, so it's going to keep this .52 for some time until we do a restart. And actually that's fine. I don't mind that. The thing here is I didn't want to like hold down the power button and turn it off and then turn it back on. So we're just going to leave it with this IP address because the NAS is going to update here, and then once it updates, it'll reboot and it will get the new IP address. So this is fine. It's printing 6.2, so of course the whole hoopla is that there's a new DSM 7.0 version, so I'm sure it's going to ask me to update. Let's go ahead and click on connect. We'll go ahead and confirm this EULA. Hit next, continue, and it's loading. Alright, So set up your Synology. Let's cool. Okay. Set up here. Install the latest DSM for new features and security fixes. Let's install it now. All the data on hard drives 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which is exactly right. We installed 5 hard drives. So all the data on those will be removed. Are you sure? Yes, understand. Let's go ahead and click OK. And now it's installing. It says it's going to be about 10 minutes. We'll let it go. Maybe I'll just speed up this time so that we can zoom through it. I'm going to stop it right here, and then we'll get going in just a little bit. So it's performed a restart, and it's jumped me into DSM 7.1. You can't see, I don't have the URL bar, but this is, I actually, once it rebooted, it did take up that new reserved IP, the 192.168.86.8. And so what I did was, when it was rebooting, it was counting down the 10 minutes. I looked into my app and found that the Synology NAS was now mapped to the .8 address. And so basically I just did the IP, the .8 IP colon 5000, which is the management port, and it brought me to this screen where it gave me the welcome to DSM 7.1. So let's go ahead and click on start. Get started with your Synology NAS. We're going to create an administrator account, and this is the one that's going to sign into the Synology NAS. Now this is not, I don't believe this is the Synology login, but this is just local, a local administrator account. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do the device name as just NAS. I'm not using a lot of different, having a lot of different users on here. Basically, I'll be logging to all my computers with a one user, and but this administrator user account is going to be for, of course, to administer everything. So I will just name the administrator's channel English 7, and then we'll do a password. Medium, okay. And this should be fine. Allow NAS. Let's I'm sure we can do this later, so let's not allow this web assistant. I think web assistant allows you to get additional information about like the performance of your NAS and IOPS and how file transfers are doing. I'm not sure if I really need this or really care about it. So right now I'm not going to check this. I'm going to go ahead and click on next. It requires mixed case. Okay, so let's just do this. There we go. That should be it. We'll hit next. And then we'll click that. Select an update option for your Synology NAS. We'll just use the recommended option here. Create a Synology account to receive more benefits. This is pretty cool. I'm not going to do this right now, so we'll just go ahead and skip it. Nope, don't need to do the collect device information, so we'll submit. And here we go. Create storage pool and volume. So again, I have the 5 times 2 terabyte Western Digital Red NAS drives in there. So we'll take a look here. Those drives are pretty much blown away now, so we don't need them. We're just going to click create now. We're going to create a pool and then a volume. So let's click start. There's a few options. I won't go into many of them because you probably have seen plenty of videos for this. We'll do SHR just because that's Synology hybrid grade, which allows us to do a mix of different sizes of drives and allows us to expand the volume as we grow. Whereas a RAID 5, you'll have unallocated space that you won't be able to use. So we'll just use SHR. Now the SHR2 just means it's going to be double redundant. So in an event that you're going to lose 2 drives, you're going to be able to keep that volume up and running. But we're just going to be single redundant for now. I used to run a RAID 6, or they used to call it XRAID 2 in Netgear. Similar concept, but I found that the Western Digital RAID drives were very reliable, so I didn't really feel the need that I need to actually do double redundancy on them. Previously I had some Seagates that failed. All of them failed. I had 6 drives, 1.5 terabyte drives. They all failed, and so I got rid of those. I RMA'd them and I got rid of those and went with the Western Digital RAIDs when they came out. So the SHR is what we're going to select here, and then we hit next. And it says to select at least one drive to create a storage pool. Well, we want all of them. So what we're going to do here is just go ahead and select all of these drives. The capacity is 7.2 terabytes, which is what I expect for this. Again, we're going to be adding the 2 times 14 terabytes to expand the pool. So this is fine for now. Okay. Okay, so it looks like the Synology has their own compatibility list. Now, these RAID drives are good, so I don't think that we're gonna have any problems here. Let's see. Let's look at Western Digital, and then EFZX, I guess, is the one that they recommend here. I'm not too concerned. We'll probably eventually replace all of these drives with the 14 terabyte at some point. So I'm fine. Let's continue. Storage pool 1. Yeah. Max capacity. So this is key. You can create different volumes. Like if you want to have different segmentations or pools. We just want one that's going to be the max amount, and then when we add the 14, we'll just expand it. So we'll just keep going on. This is very important. So BTRFS is recommended. If you're doing surveillance station and stuff like that, you probably want X4, but the BTRFS is really what we're going to be using for everything. Looks like we're looking good here. So SHR, we got SATAs, 5 drives, and then we're going to apply. Yes, let's go ahead and erase it. Loading is probably going to sync. Give it some time here. Now I do have the 2 sticks of 16 gigabyte RAM that are coming in to give me a total of 32 gigabyte. Most definitely overkill. Got them at a good deal, so went ahead and got those. Oh, this is pretty nice. Registration. We'll just skip it for now. And then, let's see here. It says, healthy, your Synology NAS is working, your service name is NAS, LAN 1, 2, 3, and 4, uptime, resource monitor. I think we're doing it, we're optimizing in the background. I'm not sure if this is available yet. Storage pool. Optimizing in the background. Okay, great. Oh, here you go. Create a volume. No storage pools for creating new volume. So I guess we have to wait for the storage pool to complete, which is fine. Let's enable data scrubbing. And data scrubbing is really important because it allows you, like, some of those lesser used sectors may be lost, if you will. So the data scrubbing allows it to go through and kind of like ensure that we have data consistency, so that it lowers the risk of any data loss. You could read it right there, so that's fine. Let's do every 3 months, and then we can even set a scrubbing only for a specific period. Yeah, that's fine. Let's do every 3 months. It's probably not going to impact us that much, so we'll let it go. We'll save it here. Can't do the data scrub. That's fine. Don't have, no. We're not gonna install SSD cache. Cool. Okay. I don't think there's anything else. There's other things that we can probably go into, but I'm sure there will be other videos about this. Once this is complete, I should be able to create my volumes, and then one of the more important things when you're creating a volume is to allow that data scrubbing to occur. So there's tons of videos out there on YouTube that will help guide you through. But this is my experience with it. So far, I'm very happy with it. The case itself looks very nice. The 8 bays, I'm really happy that I'm having 2 additional bays to allow me room for expansion. I feel like I don't have to like give up the 2 terabyte drives that I've had, and I can put them in for 7.2 terabytes of storage, and then I can slowly replace them out with higher higher capacity drives. So I feel that I'm not having to spend that much money up front, because I've already spent a lot on this 8-bay NAS. So this is I feel pretty confident and pretty happy with this experience so far. I have only really 2 volumes. One is backup and one is media. And the media contains all of my media files, and backup contains everything that I need to back up into CrashPlan. So I'll get that going as well. So far, things look good. It's syncing data, 46.11% completion, which is actually pretty fast. Faster than it took me for my other, for the ReadyNAS. So I'm not sure what this optimization is. Let's see if we can take a look here. But if it's really that fast, I could install the 14 terabytes pretty quickly. Well, this is where I'll leave you. I'll probably do another video on installing the memory. Pretty easy. It's just put it in the slot and push it down. But for the setup, I think this is where I'll end. We'll install the memory, and we'll go from there. So here's our 8-bay NAS, and I finally got the memory in. Right now I'm just on my bed. I have a metal tripod here, so I'll just occasionally touch it to discharge some ESD. It's on the bed because I want to make sure that the NAS is actually on a soft place so that I can work. And I don't want to drop it or anything like that. Now, I'll just, since the drives go out that way, I'll just move it like so we can access the bottom panel. And then we will unscrew this guy. So one screw. I didn't want to strip the screw, so I've been very careful just trying to put that in, or take the screw out rather. And so it has popped up just a little bit so that we can access that memory. And then I'll unbox this guy. These are 2 sticks of 16 gigabyte RAM So to make it a 32. I still have one drive left to add. So I'll get to that afterwards. I won't show it because, you know, adding a drive is pretty easy. And I've already showed you how to add it to the chassis. We'll pop out one stick here. Okay. Align the key. Basically push it in and then push it down. That's as easy as it goes. And then here, to take out this memory stick, you push 2 tabs out and the memory stick will pop up. You want to remove the memory stick, and what I'll do here is just put it back to where that one is so that we can store it. In case anything occurs, we'll go ahead and pop that back into the chassis. We'll take this guy out and we'll make sure that, see, this is not the right orientation because it's not where the key is. So we'll flip it, and this is where that's where the key is. Should be pretty apparent. Comes in, push it in a little bit, and then push it down, and then there you go. We've upgraded the memory of the NAS. And then I'll just place this guy back on. And put in screw number 1 into the panel. Put in screw number 2. They've made these so easy to upgrade. I mean, it's dead simple. Also, the location of where they've placed this panel is awesome. They really thought out for the prosumer that upgrading it with having this panel here is just makes it that much easier. Let's see if I can get better torque with a larger bit. Yep. Just tighten it just slightly. Looks like it's good. Again, we'll flip it so that the drives are coming back. And then there we go. We've upgraded the NAS. Now, I'll go ahead and boot it up and show you that it's been upgraded. The next thing we'll do is a little hack that I saw on online, where we're gonna wrap this in a screen cover, if you will. Actually, and then to prevent dust from coming in. So I found this hack online which helps us prevent dust getting into the NAS. You could probably use this for different other applications as well. What I did was buy some ladies 20 denier, excuse me, 20 den black nylon undergarments or pantyhose, as you would call it. And basically what they say is we're going to take this out and then cut off. It says cut off the top, so what we'll do here is right where the legs are, we're just going to cut. Okay, leave this one to the side to see how well this fits. I can put a link in the description to not only this particular nylon pantyhose, but also a link to the supported memory modules. Now, I don't know, I guess it's stretchy enough. Let's give it a try. I'm just gonna set this guy on its side and see how well I can get this on. I don't know. Maybe I should try in the top. and see if I can stretch it enough. Oh yeah, okay. I think the key, and this is a huge bay, so I'm not sure how well it's going to go. Actually, I need to, all of the connections are on this side, so see if I can catch these feet so that the pantyhose can stay. I think this might be a two-man job. Let's see. Okay, here we go. There we go. And then, oh, getting close. I'm not sure if it'll fit across this 8 bay. I saw some people do it across 6 bay and 4 bays, but maybe not the 8 bay. Getting there. Alright, it is working. Just keep pulling it down. Oh, it ripped. Maybe this tack. Oh, I think, okay. I think the feet there caught on. If I can just keep going, maybe I can get at least the front part of it. That's not horrible. Maybe I'll try with another one. But you get the idea here. And then, because the 20 den is actually thin enough to allow airflow, but not restrict airflow, this is a pretty good option to get your NAS securely, to prevent any dust from going into your NAS. So if I get that on, I'll put a picture up and show you how it looks like. So here I am in the DSM Disk Station Manager OS, and I'll show you here in the control panel the upgraded amount of RAM. Here you can see that the total physical memory is 32 gigabytes. So that the memory upgrade was successful. And also what I did was add in the 14 terabyte drive. So if you go into the storage manager, you'll be able to see in this volume that is currently syncing this drive 7 that I just recently added. This is a 14 terabyte, which is the usable space is 12.7 terabytes. And then it's going to do the syncing, which is underway right now. Last time it took a full 18 hours for the previous 14 terabyte edition. Now that I've added additional RAM, 32 gig, it went from 4 gigabytes to 32 gigabytes of RAM. I hope that the sync is a little bit faster, but we'll see with that. And now for the final thoughts. I really like the look and the sleekness of the chassis. I mean, it's no much wider or bigger than stacking 8 hard drives together. Maybe it's the width of 10 hard drives stacked together. You got your 120 millimeter fans in the back, which are pretty much silent. You can change the varying noise level of the fan in the DSM OS, but um, you're really able to enjoy the silenceness. The ReadyNAS was great, I would say, for what it was for 15 years, but I'm really going to enjoy the Synology NAS device with the 8 bays. I have an additional 2 bays from the ReadyNAS, and then it also allows me to hopefully enjoy this for the next 15 to 20 years. The DSM OS is really intuitive, very easy to use. Really, I don't have this or configured the quick connect with Synology because I just need the NAS to be local. I don't want it exposed to the internet. So I just have it here in my local network, not accessible. Now, if that changes, maybe I'll do another video if I do the quick connect and some of the features. There's probably tons of videos out there for it, but right now it's going to basically just be in my local network, and my Plex server will be that external way to access media. Overall, I think I like the Synology. So far, it's been very easy to use. Eventually, I'll upgrade my 2 terabyte drives to larger drives, but I'm really enjoying it for now. I have not transferred the data yet. I'm waiting for everything to sync up and to let it run for a day or two before I'm comfortable with transferring the files over. But I'm just being extra cautious in that. But anyways, this is Tony with Tony's Tidbits, and until next time, we'll see you again. Hey everybody, so like I said, I have my Synology NAS in the closet, and what I did was I put on the nylon stocking to prevent any dust from accumulating in the NAS itself. It would just go on the outside or the back, and then I can just vacuum it off or whatever. Now, the NAS is so big that it ripped basically the pantyhose. So what I discovered, in which I ordered another set, was that you need to cut off one end and the other end to make it be able to go around the whole thing. Otherwise, it's very narrow, and because the other end is closed, it's hard to get the stocking over the NAS itself. So I ordered another pair, but actually I was able to get at least partially the whole thing. Now there's 2 legs, obviously, to pantyhose. So I ripped the first one, and then in the second one, unfortunately, I ripped it too, and then I said I had the aha moment where it's like, hey, I just need to cut off both ends, and then I can use it as a sleeve to go across the actual NAS itself. Well, unfortunately, I had used up the second one, so this is what it looks like now. Let me switch the screen here. So that's what it looks like. You can see sort of the netting. I'll try to, yeah, right here. You can see. And I also added in that the last drive that I currently have. I have 1 bay open, and then you can see here on the side the tear. I have a run in my pantyhose, if you will, but that's okay. I know what to do for the next time. But just a tip for if you have the 8 bay NAS, to cut off both ends of the pantyhose and then slide it across, and it should help you install this particular hack to keep the dust out of your device.